We are pleased to announce our 25th anniversary. For 2.5 decades, Rapid Resizer has aided artists in their work. As part of our celebration, we thought you might enjoy getting a behind-the-scenes peek at the studio and to hear a bit about how the company started from the creator Patrick.
Let's start at the beginning. What inspired you to create this software?
Well, I was in my, where we go now? How far back do we go here? Well, I was a wee lad and got my first TRS-80 computer. No, that's a bit too far back. So I saw my mother in the basement trying to enlarge a stained glass pattern, the old by hand. And I was just walking by and thought, oh geez, a computer, I could easily write a program to make it easy. That's an obvious one. So that was the inspiration there.
What did Rapid Resizer look like 25 years ago?
So yeah, this was even before like CDs, and then eventually got like CD burner, and I had like a CD labeler. That was fancy, could label our own CDs, like personalize them with like their name and their like key on them or whatever, and make the CD and like ship that in the mail at the post office. Eventually got bothered to spring for some decent graphic design, and there's like a DVD style case that actually looked pretty slick there, and I think we found photos of that. And yeah, I used to distribute those. And then what came after? Oh, well, then finally it switched to the web-based versions because it was important to people wanted it running on Macs, and then of course you got your phones and your iPods and your Android and iOS, and there was proliferation of devices to run on. So the simplest solution was just to figure out how to get it totally web-based, and so that was about a decade ago.
What sets Rapid Resizer apart from other art softwares?
Well, I like to think that one aspect is it's very accessible. I like to think that you can just use the little picture stencil maker, or you can just resize a design as it is. You're not overwhelmed with 5 million controls and buttons and menu bars and 5,000 things to do anything. You can just ease into it. You can just start by resizing a design without changing it, and then you can maybe make your own little design and letter stencil in the stencil makers or whatever, and then eventually you can level up and use the designer to customize a design or create your own. So it's not, there's that smooth entry for artists who generally aren't going to be super computer nerds and know how to use all these elaborate features. It lets them use just as much as they want.
What was the original application for the software?
Just marketed to stained glass artists. It did not even occur to me that it would be of use to anything else, even though that's ridiculously obvious. Though fortunately, woodworkers pointed out, oh, this is super useful for scroll saw and all this, and oh wow, and then of course, endless range of applications I was informed of, and tried to adapt the software a bit to cater more broadly to those.
Can you talk more about the new learning resources?
Yeah, I've eventually, realized I'm a programmer and I made this, so how all these things work is incredibly obvious to me, but of course to somebody else who's just stumbling on it the first time, and to somebody whose, expertise is in their art form and not in computers, 99% of what's, functionality or little gotchas and how to use these things are not going to be obvious to someone. So as the features and functionality of the software expands even further, finally dawned on me, oh, I have to put a considerable effort into educating people about all the neat features in here that they can take advantage of to help them with their art. So that's why over the last year we set up Rapid Resizer Academy, full online course with videos and articles and quizzes and all that, and we're continuing to improve and advance that. And we're about to release massively improved Rapid Resizer handbook, and of course we'll continue to improve that.
Were you surprised by the community of artists that has grown with Rapid Resizer?
Yeah, another thing that's been really great over especially the last year, is the team really being in contact with artists on Instagram and seeing all this spectacular art that people are making with, at least making with some help from, Rapid Resizer. Obviously, they're doing, the amazing things, but it's nice to see that we're helping however much with, producing all this fantastic stained glass and wood carving and mosaics and all sorts of things we never imagined. And that's certainly important to me to, especially after, 25 years, to keep my attention and engagement, is to be reminded, oh yes, people are finding this helpful in their process to create really legitimate art that's, making the world more beautiful.
Rapid Resizer continues to grow with our creators. We look forward to the next 25 years together.